All right, so today we're going to do a deep dive into the world of online courses.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about everything from like building them to marketing them and, really turning this into a solid business. You guys sent in a ton of notes and resources for this one. It seems like someone's been doing their homework.
Someone has.
And that's great because that benefits everyone listening. Right?
Sure.
We're going to distill all this information down into the good stuff. Those like actionable strategies, the aha moments that can save you a lot of time and headaches along the way.
Yeah, and what I think is really interesting about the notes that you sent over is it's not just about like putting together one course and sending it out there. It's more like you've been really mapping out like a whole online business empire, thinking about all these pieces and how they can fit together for the long haul.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't about, some quick cash grab or anything. We're talking about building something that's sustainable. Something where your knowledge turns into a valuable asset.
Yeah.
Something you can use again and again. But first things first, you need a solid foundation, right?
You need a solid foundation. And from what I'm seeing here, your notes really highlight 3 key elements. Your email list, a membership site, and a killer website.
Yeah.
So think of it like this. We're building a city here. The website is your downtown. It's the bustling center, where everyone comes to visit. Your membership site, that's like that exclusive neighborhood, where your most loyal fans can hang out.
Right.
And the email list, well, that's your direct line of communication to everyone.
Yeah.
Keeping them in the loop, building those relationships that are so important.
Okay, so that's the infrastructure. What about the actual content, right?
Sure.
Because it seems like so many people get stuck in this mindset of, okay, I have this one course idea and that's it.
Right.
Well, and this is where things get really cool. You've actually stumbled upon this concept that a lot of, really experienced entrepreneurs emphasize, and that's treating your content as an asset. So let me give you an example. Imagine you've created this fantastic report on like productivity hacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of just selling that report as is, you can create a video course that expands on those hacks.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can offer like reseller rights so others can sell it too. And then you can even host a live 2-day workshop for the people who want more of a hands-on experience. So you see how that works. That one piece of core content turns into multiple revenue streams.
Yeah, that's a game changer. It's like turning one apple tree into an entire orchard. But even with the best content in the world, you need people to actually find it right. And that's where things like affiliate marketing, paid traffic, and email lists come in. Right, you got it. And it's interesting to see that your notes seem to prioritize email marketing above those other two. Now, affiliate marketing can be powerful, don't get me wrong. But it's also unpredictable. You're relying on other people to promote your work. Paid traffic can be incredibly effective. But it's a constant learning curve. You're always testing and tweaking ads, trying to figure out what converts.
So that leaves email. What makes email so special?
Well, with email, you're building a direct relationship with your audience. It's like inviting them into your inner circle. You're providing value. You're sharing insights. And over time, you're nurturing this level of trust, a trust that makes people more likely to actually buy from you. You don't have to worry about algorithms or any of that. It's just about genuine connection.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like the difference between shouting into a crowd and having a one-on-one conversation. And it seems like the notes really emphasize that nurturing aspect,
Exactly. You've even got this quote highlighted here. It really stood out to me. Email marketing isn't about bombarding people with sales pitches. It's about being their trusted guide, showing up consistently, and offering solutions to their problems.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. But consistency takes time, right?
Yeah.
And so many people get discouraged when success doesn't happen overnight. Your notes actually talk about the business marathon mindset.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
It means shifting your perspective, shifting it from a sprint to a long-term journey. So many people dive into online courses thinking they'll get rich quick. They launch a product, they don't see results immediately, and then they just give up. Building a successful business, especially online, takes time and dedication. It takes a willingness to adapt.
It's like expecting to run a marathon without any training.
Yeah.
And speaking of adapting your notes, actually make this fascinating comparison to Amazon. They started as just an online bookstore. And look at them now.
Oh, that's a brilliant example. It highlights the importance of being willing to evolve. Amazon didn't limit themselves to just books. They experimented. They expanded their offerings. And they became the behemoth they are today.
So the takeaway here is to be flexible. Embrace change. And maybe don't be afraid to try new things, even if it feels a little scary.
Precisely. And speaking of a topic that can be a bit daunting, let's talk about pricing.
Oh, yeah, pricing. You can feel like you're just throwing darts at a board sometimes. So what insights did you get from the notes
on pricing?
Well, first of all, your notes emphasize that there's a real psychology behind pricing. It's not just about picking a number that feels good, you know. You need to understand what customers expect at different price points.
So how do you figure that out?
Your notes actually highlight this fascinating study, a study on customer perception of value. So basically, when someone buys a low-priced course, they're primarily looking for information. They want those quick wins, those golden nuggets of knowledge. But when someone invests in a higher-priced course, their expectations shift. They're not just paying for information, they're paying for transformation. They want results. And they're willing to pay a premium for a guided experience that delivers those results.
So if you're charging a higher price, you need to be offering more than just information. You need to be providing support, coaching, community, that sort of thing.
Exactly. It's about creating a comprehensive learning experience that justifies the investment. Think about it like this. Someone might happily spend like $20 on a book that gives them some helpful tips, but if they're investing, $500 or $1,000 in a course, they're expecting a much deeper level of engagement and support.
That makes a lot of sense. So how do you bridge that gap between those low-ticket buyers who want that quick information and those higher-ticket buyers who are looking for transformation?
Well, that's where the magic of sales funnels comes in. And you're in luck, because your notes have some really interesting ideas about how to structure them. You were asking about bridging that gap between the low-ticket and the high-ticket buyers. Your notes actually challenge that traditional idea of a linear sales funnel, the kind where someone buys that low-priced product and then you offer them one upsell, maybe a downsell, and that's it. Instead, they suggest this more holistic approach.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How does that work?
Well, it's about creating a system where every customer has the potential to be exposed to every product in your funnel, regardless of their initial entry point, So you might have a $27 ebook that introduces a concept, and then a $97 video course that dives a little bit deeper, a $497 group coaching program, for more hands-on support, and even a $2,000 mastermind for those who want that personalized attention.
So it's not just about moving people up a ladder.
Yeah.
It's more like offering them a buffet of options.
Exactly. And that brings us to a key point that you've highlighted here. Understanding the psychology behind discounts and promotions, it's not just about slashing prices and hoping for the best.
Yeah, my notes are full of ideas on this. It's like a whole strategic game.
It is. You even included this case study here about a course creator who boosted their sales by 30% just by changing the way they framed their discounts. So instead of just offering like a generic 10% off deal, they created a limited time flash sale. And they tied it to a specific event, like the anniversary of their business or something.
So it's about creating that sense of urgency and exclusivity.
Precisely. And here's another fascinating insight that you uncovered. Discounts can actually be more effective for those higher priced products. Think about it. If someone's already willing to invest a significant amount of money, a discount just makes them feel like they're getting an even better deal. It's that extra little nudge. That can push them from maybe to definite.
That's counterintuitive, but it makes sense. It's like when you're buying a car. A few $100s off might not seem like a lot, but psychologically it feels like a bigger win.
Exactly. Now let's talk about the heart of it all, the sales page. This is where you really need to capture attention and persuade people to take action.
Yeah, my notes are overflowing with tips on this one. Headlines, bullet points, testimonials, guarantees. It can feel overwhelming.
Well, you actually highlighted a quote from a marketing guru that I like. He said, "The best sales pages are simple, clear, and focused on the benefits, not just the features." So think about it. What does your ideal customer really want to achieve? And then speak directly to those desires.
So let jargon, more you language.
Exactly. And you've also included this great example of a sales page that follows this simple but effective formula. It starts by thanking the customer for their purchase, reassures them about the value of that front-end product, smoothly introduces the upsell through a compelling video, outlines the benefits clearly, and then ends with a strong call to action.
It's like a well-choreographed dance leading them toward that buy now button.
Exactly. And speaking of choreography, you've also emphasized the importance of congruency. All your marketing materials, from your website to your emails to your sales page, they should all have a consistent look and feel. This builds brand recognition and creates a more seamless experience for your audience.
It's like having a signature style, a style that people can recognize instantly.
Now let's dive into the content itself. One thing that really stood out in your notes was the idea of understanding your target audience. You actually used the phrase educational junk food to describe some online courses.
Yeah, I was reading about how some courses are packed with fluff and filler content. just to make them seem longer or more valuable. It's like eating a bag of chips. You might enjoy it in the moment,
Right.
but it doesn't really nourish you.
Right. And you contrasted that with the idea of creating nutritious content. Courses that are packed with valuable information, actionable strategies, real-world examples.
It's about providing real value, not just empty calories.
Exactly. And that value can come in many forms. You've explored different content formats, video, audio, written content, even interactive elements like quizzes and worksheets.
It's about finding what resonates best with your audience, and then delivering information in a way that's engaging and easy to digest.
You've even highlighted the importance of cross-disciplinary inspiration, looking outside your niche for fresh ideas and approaches.
Like borrowing storytelling techniques from novelists.
Yeah.
Or presentation skills from TED Talk speakers.
Exactly. It's about constantly learning and evolving, which brings us to another important point that you raised. Knowing when to offer snackable content versus deep dive content.
I'm guessing that ties into the pricing discussion we had earlier.
It does. So for your lower priced products, people are often looking for those quick wins, those bite-sized pieces of information that they can implement immediately. But for your higher price offerings, you can justify going deeper, providing more comprehensive training, more support, and a more immersive learning experience.
So it's about meeting your customers where they're at and offering them that right level of depth and support based on their investment.
Exactly. And this all ties into another key aspect you've highlighted, titles and covers. These are the first things that people see, so they need to grab attention and accurately represent your content.
There's a whole psychology behind this, right? Catchy headlines, power words, visuals that evoke emotion.
Oh, absolutely. You actually included a study here on the impact of color psychology in marketing materials. Did you know that certain colors can evoke specific emotions and actually influence purchasing decisions?
That's fascinating. So it's not just about what you say, it's also about how you say it visually.
Exactly. And you've even explored the idea of using a bit of controversy in your titles, just to stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, I could see how that could be effective, as long as it's done tastefully.
Yeah.
And aligns with your brand.
Right. Now, before we move on to our final thoughts and takeaways, I want to touch on one more crucial aspect you've highlighted, continuous learning.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. The online world is constantly changing, so it's
Yeah.
impossible to just learn something once and be done with it.
Right. Your notes are filled with resources, books, podcasts, online communities, all focused on helping course creators stay ahead of the curve. You've even emphasized the importance of attending industry events and connecting with other creators.
It's about being part of a community,
Yeah.
learning from each other,
Yeah.
and supporting each other's growth.
Exactly. And speaking of growth, let's move on to our final part, where we'll distill all of this into actionable takeaways that you can use to create, market, and sell your online courses with confidence.
Okay, so we've covered so much in this deep dive. It's been amazing. From building your online course city to crafting those sales pages. It's been quite the journey.
It has. And now comes the fun part, putting it all into action. Your notes actually do a really good job of summarizing the key takeaways. It's like you were anticipating this final wrap up.
Well, let's start with the big one, content. It's not just about making a course and hoping for the best. We talked about treating your content like an asset. How do you actually do that?
You hit the nail on the head. It's all about getting creative with repurposing. Let's say you have a killer module on time management for entrepreneurs. That could easily become a checklist, or a mini workbook, even a guest blog post on some productivity website. So you're maximizing its value, reaching new audiences, all from that one core piece of content.
So it's about thinking beyond that initial course format, finding ways to repackage the information for different needs and learning styles.
Exactly. And you know what else really stood out to me from your notes? The emphasis on email marketing. It's so easy to get caught up in all the shiny new platforms out there, but email is still king when it comes to building those direct, loyal relationships.
Yeah, I was just reading a study the other day. It said that email marketing has an average return on investment of $42 for every $1 spent.
Wow, that's incredible. And it all comes back to that idea of being a trusted guide, not just a salesperson. Provide value, share insights. And those email subscribers, they'll become your biggest fans.
Speaking of value, we talk a lot about the psychology of pricing and how it's not just about picking a random number. Any tips on finding that sweet spot that feels fair to you and your customers?
Well, your notes actually highlight a really brilliant strategy, creating a value ladder. So offer a range of products at different price points, catering to different needs and budgets. So you might have a $17 ebook for those who are just dipping their toes in, a $97 course for those who are ready to dive a little deeper, and a $497 group coaching program for those who crave more personalized support.
So it's about giving people options, allowing them to enter at a level they're comfortable with, and then ascend as they gain more confidence and see results.
Precisely. And remember, those higher priced offerings don't just mean more content. They often include things like coaching calls, community access, additional resources, things that really justify that investment.
It's like choosing between a basic economy ticket and first class. You get what you pay for.
Okay, one final thing I want to touch on is that business marathon mindset. Any advice for those moments? You know, when we inevitably hit a wall and feel like giving up?
Oh, I love this quote you have highlighted. It says, success isn't about never falling down. It's about getting back up one more time than you fall. Building an online course business, it's a journey. It's not a destination. There will be challenges. There will be setbacks. But it's that resilience, that willingness to learn and adapt, that ultimately leads to long-term success.
That's so encouraging. And, you know, speaking of support, remember, you're not alone in this. There are so many online communities, forums, even masterminds, specifically for course creators. Connect with others, share your struggles, celebrate your wins, and know that you have a whole tribe cheering you on. I love that. And as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought, one that really resonated with me from your notes. It's a quote from Marie Forleo. She says, "Clarity comes from engagement, not thought." So don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Start creating. Start experimenting. Trust that the clarity will come as you take action and learn along the way.
That is such a powerful message. It's about embracing imperfection, trusting the process, and most importantly, having fun along the way. Now go forth and create those amazing courses that change lives.
Absolutely. And remember, we're always here to support you on your journey. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep sharing your unique brilliance with the world.